Howdy guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Makayla and today's reading vlog is super fun and I'm really excited to do it because we are going to be reading books off of the New York Times Reader's Choice Best Books of the 21st Century list. That was a mouthful. So essentially the New York Times released a poll where they asked a bunch of people what their favorite books that they have read were, and they compiled a top 100 list, and I have picked 5 books out of the top 10 on that list to read for this video, and I'm really excited because it is pushing me to read outside of my comfort zone. Pretty much all of these are general fiction, and to be honest, I don't read a lot of general fiction, so I am really excited to push my boundaries a little bit and read things that I might not have normally picked up but are very well loved and liked by a lot of people. So we are going to jump right into it and I'm going to talk about the 5 books that I chose to read. Coming in at number 10 on that list, we have Station 11 by Emily St. John Mandel. So this one, you are following Kirsten, who is a famous actress, and she ends up having a heart attack on stage. Well, that same day, there's a deadly flu pandemic that breaks out and ends civilization as they know it. And she groups up with a group of magicians and other actors, and they travel around in this post-apocalyptic world to all of the different encampments to try and keep the arts and humanities alive in this post-apocalyptic world. And yeah, they end up going to this one encampment and everything changes and things start going awry. So that is the basic premise of this, and yeah, this is Station 11. Next up, we have number 9 on the list, and that is Never Let Me Go by Kazuo Ishiguro. So we are set in an English countryside, and this group of people, they go to this prestigious private school, and they're raised very uniquely in this private school, and it is set in the future of them reflecting on how they were growing up. That's all I really know. The back is kind of ambiguous, but I am really excited. I think this one, it says from the Seattle Public Library. I got this from Half Price Books, so if this came all the way from Seattle, that is really cool that the book made it all the way down to the College Station, Texas Half Price Books. But that is Never Let Me Go, and it is number 9 on the list. Coming in at number 7 on the list, we have Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow by Gabrielle Zevin. This book is obviously very popular, and I have been wanting to read this book just even outside of this video because it is very well known, and I think we are following a group of, I think it's 2 people, and they end up like making a business together, and it's about their lives together and growing and living life and all of that type of stuff. I don't know too much about it. I kind of want to go into it a little bit blind. But yeah, I got this special edition from Barnes & Nobles, and I am really excited for this one because this is actually one that I have been wanting to read just outside of this video. Now we have the book that is number 2 on the list, and that is All the Light We Cannot See by Anthony Doerr. So this is set in wartime. You're actually following 2 different people. So you're following Marie Lurie, who she's a blind girl and she lives in Paris, France. And then you're also following Warner Fenning, and he is a German boy, and he ends up getting pulled into the German army as they are invading France and everything. And it is the story of during war and how people make decisions and just life, and yeah. So this is a very popular book. It also got turned into a Netflix show, which I actually did watch. I think it was Netflix. It got turned into a show, and I did watch the show already. I don't remember much about it. I watched it when it first came out, but I'm really excited to read this because I don't read a lot of war books, so I am pretty curious for this one. Now, number 1 on this list, which actually really surprised me because I had seen this book in stores, but I've never really seen a lot of booktubers or book talkers like talking about this book, and that is Demon Copperhead by Barbara Kingsolver. And this book, you're following Damon, I think that's his actual name. Yeah, so you're following Damon, and he's pretty much just telling the story of his life. He grew up very poor with a drug addict mom, and it's just the struggles of him trying to make better of the situation that he was put in and just his life. My dog is about to knock over my tripod. Okay, we're good. And yeah, so this is Demon Copperhead, and I want to take a second. I absolutely love the cover of this book. I think the little pictures and just the vibes of it are amazing, and I absolutely love it. So I am really excited. This, like I said, was number 1 on the list. So that is the 5 books that I chose to read for this video, and I am probably gonna have to spread them out because, like I said, I don't read general fiction a lot, so I feel like I might struggle a little bit if I read them all back to back to back to back. I do like to sprinkle in some romance and some thriller and that type of stuff in there, so this video might be over the course of a little bit because I don't think I'll be able to read them like back to back to back. Okay, so a little awkward. I actually did already read 2 of these books that are in this video before I started filming this video. It was one of those, I started them and had full intention of actually starting this video while I was reading them, and then I just kept forgetting to actually like film the intro, and now we are filming the intro and I have already finished the top 2 books on this list. So I will do a little deep dive. I might include a little clips of me reading them because I have been filming some reading vlogs while I've been reading them, but then I'm just reusing clips that are going to be in other videos, so I don't think I'm going to. I would post like little clips, but there's not much of me reading them. But the first book I want to talk about is All the Light We Cannot See. So I did read this. This actually took me quite a while to finish. I think it took me 2 weeks, which is kind of long for me in terms of finishing a book. It is a little bit on the longer side. I think it's, how many pages is it? It's over 500. So it is a little bit on the longer side, but it did take me a while to really get into it. So like I said, this story, you're following a French girl and a German boy during wartime and all of that, and the chapters are very interesting. The chapters are very short, which is nice, but you're jumping back and forth in timelines and different point of views throughout the chapters. So the beginning of the book, it took me a while to really pick up on the writing style and how the chapters were flowing and everything, but once I did actually pick that up and got into it, it was really, really interesting. I mean, it talks a lot about like why we make the decisions we do, and you see a different point of view, especially from Warner, like the German boy, of how he got pulled into being in the army, and just seeing it from a different perspective of, I mean, he didn't go in wanting to go and kill a bunch of people, but he got pulled in because of his smarts and like his ability to work on radios and stuff. So it was really interesting. I did like it. I don't really remember the show because it was a while ago since I watched it, but I do remember when I watched the show was really good. It's like a limited series, I think. I think it was like 8 episodes, maybe. Don't quote me on that. But this is really good. It's a winner of the Pulitzer Prize. I would highly recommend it. It's one of my first kind of wartime books that I've ever read, and I did enjoy it. I think I want to dabble more in the historical fiction genre, and I know there's like a lot of Kristen Hanna books that are really good that are kind of set during wars, so I am really curious to start exploring this genre more. And I think this was a really great start because this is a very well-known book, and it's obviously for a good reason. I mean, it won the Pulitzer Prize. So overall, I think I'm probably going to give this 4 stars. My dog's a little upset. So yeah, overall I think I'm gonna give this 4 stars. I really did enjoy it. It just took me a while to really get invested into the story, so that's why it's not a higher rating of that sort, but I did enjoy it and I'm excited to explore this genre more. Moving on to Demon Copperhead, I actually strictly listened to this book on audiobook. Personally, I do count audiobooks as reading because it is a great way to read books while I'm very busy. Like, I'm a full-time college student, I'm studying engineering. I don't have the absolute most amount of time to read a physical book. So listening to the audiobook of this was actually really great. I would highly recommend reading this through audiobook. So pretty much the story is the narrator telling the story of his life. And it's really interesting to listen to it because it just sounds like someone telling you a story, and I really did enjoy it. Yeah, I don't really know how to like talk about it because it's just him telling the story of his life and just like all of the things he went through. I feel like the ending, I wasn't as satisfied with the ending as maybe I could have been, but I really didn't know what to expect going into this book, and I did enjoy it. I think I'm also probably going to give this one I haven't really thought about my rating for this. honestly probably 4 stars as well. I think I would have struggled to get through this if it were not for the audiobook. I mean, it is, again, this one is over 500 pages, and I feel like I definitely would have struggled if it wasn't for listening to it on audiobook. So I am very glad that I did do that, because I did really want to read this. I mean, this was number 1 on that list. Granted, I really should have worked backwards and read like the number 10 book first and then went to 1, but that is not how I did it. So these are the 2 books that I've already read for this challenge, and now I'm going to pick the next book that I want to read, and I think I'm going to choose Station 11, which is number 10 on the list, because it just sounds really interesting, of kind of like a post-apocalyptic world, as well as it is on the shorter side. I think it's less than 300 pages, which is kind of what I'm wanting right now, because these were both pretty hefty books, both over 500 pages. So I think reading the shorter one might be a good choice. So we are going to start Station 11, and I will keep you updated on all my thoughts and feelings, and yeah, so let's do it. Okay, I'm here providing an update on Station 11. I am nearing the halfway point of the book, and I'm really liking it so far. I forgot just how much I really enjoy dystopian style books, because this is a post-apocalyptic book, and yeah, I'm really liking it so far. Things are starting to pick up, and I'm hooked. I'm reading it as much as I can. I've just been really busy recently, so I haven't been able to read as much as I would like, but I am really enjoying it so far. And I think if you love like kind of dystopian style books, you should give this one a try. I think it's very popular for a reason, and this one's a little bit more action-packed than some of the other books that I have been reading recently for this video. So back to my little update. I got to page 228 today. I am about 75% the way done, and my thoughts at the moment is, so there's 2 different timelines. There's the 20 years post-outbreak timeline, and that's the one that's really written about on the back, where they come across like the super weird camp. And then there's the pre-outbreak timeline, and that timeline you really just learn about a lot of the characters and stuff. And this last good chunk of the book, we've just been in like the pre-outbreak timeline. And don't get me wrong, like I like that timeline, but I wish we have gotten more of the post-outbreak timeline and like following what the story was like about on the back of like this encampment and like weird things happening, because I feel like things started, okay, back, I don't really remember where I was before he started barking. Where was I? I believe I was talking about, I don't remember. We'll just start where I want to start. So, the timeline of the 20 years post-outbreak had finally gotten to the part that was like, it was talking about on the back of the book, and things started happening, and then we shifted back to the pre-outbreak timeline, and we've been there ever since, pretty much. There's been like 1 or 2 really short chapters that bring us back to the post-outbreak timeline, but it's nothing long, nothing substantial. So that's been super dissatisfying, because I really was enjoying the post-outbreak timeline, and I wanted more of that like creepy, weird things happening type effect, whereas most of it has just been explaining the people's lives pre-outbreak. And it hasn't been bad, like I said, like it has been pretty interesting, but I wish we got more of the other timeline. So I will probably hopefully finish this either tonight or, no, not tonight, like tomorrow. I'm pretty free tomorrow. So I'm hoping to finish this by the end of tomorrow, and then we can move on to reading tomorrow, and Never Let Me Go. Those are the only 2 books I have left for this video. Okay, I officially finished Station 11, and I'm just going to kind of talk about my initial thoughts after literally just finishing it like a minute ago. So I think my biggest thing about this book, and I kind of mentioned it when I did my like 75% check-in, is a lot of the book is in the pre-outbreak story like timeline where we're learning about a lot of the characters. And though like it was interesting, I was really hoping for more of the storyline of 20 years post-outbreak, weird things are happening, there's the prophet and like all of this stuff. Like I really wished we got more of that storyline. I feel like those parts were just very rushed over and we really didn't get much of it, and I was kind of disappointed in that aspect because it is talked about a lot on the back, and that was kind of what I was hoping a majority of the story was going to be about. But really a majority of the story was just learning about each of the characters. Overall, I think I'm going to give it like a 3.5 stars. And that's largely just due to I was disappointed that there wasn't more of the plot that was presented on the back. So that is just my initial thoughts on this book. Like I said, 3.5 stars. It was okay. I don't know if I would really recommend reading it. I think it was just a meh. It wasn't like my favorite, wasn't my least favorite, just kind of mid-tier book. But now we are going to move on to reading Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow, which is a very, very well-known and highly raved about book. So I'm really excited. I'm hoping that one lives up to my expectations because that is a very loved and well-known book. So I'm really, really hoping that I can trust other people's judgments and it's not going to disappoint me like this one did. So we are going to move on to reading that one. It has been a few weeks since I have read or updated for this video because life got really hectic. I am in my senior year of college. I'm taking 5 classes this semester and just life really got busy and I didn't have a lot of time to read. So when I was reading, I didn't want to force myself to read something that I wasn't in the mood for, and I just wasn't in the mood for the other 2 books that are left for this like challenge and that were left on the list. So I just decided to kind of put this video on pause for a few weeks until I felt motivated again to read. And I finally did. So yesterday I picked up Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow by Gabrielle Zevin, and I'm partly listening to it on audiobook as well as reading the physical book when I can. I am on page 130 right now. I think I'm on part 3 is technically what it is in the book, and I'm really enjoying it so far. I kind of just love the game aspect of it, and like I really love the theme of friendship because like their friendship is not perfect, and I just love learning about the people, and I've just really enjoyed it so far. It's not too deep, but it's still just like a fun story that doesn't drag along, like things keep moving, and I am really enjoying it. So like I said, I'm 130 pages in. I'm gonna keep reading and listening to the audiobook, so hopefully we'll finish this one pretty soon, which is really exciting. I just can't get over how pretty these sprayed edges are for this book. I'm so glad I got this version of it, and that, well, this was the version my Barnes & Nobles had when I wanted to go and buy it. But yeah, I'm so excited. I love this book. It is so pretty. And yeah, those are kind of my preliminary thoughts. I don't have too many thoughts really so far because I'm still, I guess I'm almost a third-ish into the book. But still, I'm really excited, and I will keep you guys updated as I continue reading. So, we are back on track for this video. Officially finished Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow by Gabrielle Zevin, and this is the second to last book for this video, and arguably this was the book that I heard the most about previous to starting this challenge. So I was really, really excited, a highly anticipated read for this video, And overall, I think I'm going to give it 4 stars. I really enjoyed the aspects of friendship and growing up and going through things together through friends and just the ebbs and flows of an actual friendship, especially just when life happens. I really did enjoy that. However, the thing that knocked it down for me was one of my just like personal pet peeves in books is when the characters are unlikable. And quite frankly, at times I found all the characters unlikable, which I guess it was real. Like, a lot of them were going through stuff and just how their lives were. But I really don't enjoy when characters were unlikable, especially towards the end of this book. After a big twist, which there was a big twist in here that I was not expecting to happen. So it definitely caught me by surprise. But I really did enjoy it. And yeah, especially towards the end, I just felt like some of the characters... Marcel, please stop. I just felt like some of the characters became even more unlikable, and I just really didn't enjoy that. So that is why it got knocked down from a 5 to a 4 star. I feel like if they made the characters more likable, it definitely would have been a 5 star. I really did enjoy the themes of just growing up and like making these games, and I found it super interesting. But yeah, I just didn't like the part where some of the characters were unlikable. So that is the update on this, and then the only book we have left is Never Let Me Go. Yeah. Never Let Me Go. So we only have 1 book left in this challenge, and I'm so excited. So that is an update on this, and we will keep reading and keep doing this challenge. I do have a final update / conclusion for this video. So I did pick up Never Let Me Go by Kazuo Ishiguro. However, I got about 25 pages in, and I really just did not want to read the book. I was not interested in what was going on. I just don't think I was in the mood for that type of book. And one of my kind of goals going forward for reading that I set for myself was that I wasn't going to force myself to read books just for the sake of making YouTube videos. Reading is supposed to be just a fun hobby for me. And I feel like if I continue to just try to force myself to read books that I don't want to read, that's going to take away some of that enjoyment for it. So I did soft DNF this. I might end up picking this back up in the future because I am intrigued because it is on that bestsellers, top books of the century list. But for right now, I did soft DNF it, so I did not finish this. I'm not really going to rank it as like a DNF because I probably will pick it back up in the future. I just really do not want to read it right now, and I don't want that pressure to hold off on posting this video just to wait to read this. So I do want to get this video posted because it's been a few months in the making of filming this video. So I'm finally at a conclusion for this video. I did read 5 books. Well, I read 4, DNF'd 1. I don't have Demon Copperhead with me, my physical copy. I lent it out to a friend. But overall, I really enjoyed this video. I think it pushed me out of my comfort zone. I think one of the main takeaways I have from this video and this challenge is that I don't enjoy reading just general fiction that much. It's not my top choice genre, and especially trying to read so many back to back and in relation to each other, I definitely realize it's not my favorite genre. I definitely like things have more of a plot line or more stakes and more stories. I do like my fantasies and my thrillers and all of that type of stuff. But overall, I still did enjoy it. I can very much see why these books are highly ranked. Some of them I was a little disappointed overall in some of my ratings. I'll put my ratings on the screen right here. But some of them I was excited for and they didn't live up to expectations for me. But that's the beauty of reading. Everyone has different opinions and we have the opportunity to disagree, and I think that is a beautiful thing, that we have the freedom to have our own opinions and disagree on things. But overall, I would highly recommend anyone check out the books on this list. Maybe you will find one of your top books, and comment down below if you have read any of the books on this list. I'm really curious to see if you guys have enjoyed these, as well as if you've read any other books that are on this list and you think I should maybe give them a try, comment those down below as well. But overall, I just really enjoyed pushing myself out of my comfort zone and just reading some new things. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!